Okay, so we forgot to talk about a few things.
Yes.
And so, first off, your weight loss, you're postpartum. So,
Yes.
how old is your baby? And tell us about that journey.
Yes. So my daughter will be 1 on Sunday. I started to see a chiropractor back in March, just because I was experiencing a lot of aches and pains everywhere, a majority of it in my neck and back, and I was just looking for some relief so that I could start back on my workout journey again. It was just painful for me. My workouts weren't like sitting right. And so I had started the chiropractor. I eventually found you, and we had started up some massages, and I think that that's where everything kind of like took off. The chiropractor did do some help as well, but I feel like the majority of the results have been from the massages, because that's when I experienced like the most pain relief everywhere. It was more of like aches and pains here and there, and those have like pretty much diminished for the most part, which has made my workouts a lot easier because of my hips and in my back. And
What did that feel like
before? It felt like a lot of pressure up in my hip area, and then like no matter what, I could not get a good stance in my workout. Like it always just felt like one hip was like overcompensating for the other, and me thinking that that was like a chiropractic thing still was not. Like I wasn't seeing a difference in that part with my workouts. And so after we had started our massages is really when I could actually see myself be able to go into a deep squat and my hips weren't hurting afterwards, or my form was a lot better and stuff like that. So that was the biggest difference that I had seen, and especially with the aches and pains everywhere. That was like a tremendous difference for me. And when I came in, that was something that I had expressed to you, that I felt like I just was kind of always in pain, and I don't know what's going on because I feel young. I feel like I eat semi-healthy, and that was just kind of lingering. And you had mentioned a lot of like the water being in between the muscles and stuff like that, and I think that that is a majority of what it was. I don't know that it was chiropractic per se, and so I'm so thankful for finding you, because you've educated me on a lot of things. So and then in regards to my menstrual cycle, before, I've always had about 3-day periods. That's been ever since I've been pretty much young. It's super, super heavy the first day, and then kind of dies down on the 3rd day. And now my periods, like you mentioned, that they may change, and I now have like 4 to 5 day periods that are a much more even flow. I don't have that huge gush at the beginning like I was before.
It was super heavy. So yours were super short.
Yes.
And super heavy in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then would taper off pretty quickly.
And then I have noticed a little bit of a difference in the color of my menstrual cycle. It used to be very, very dark. It's lightened fairly. Okay. At the beginning, it's like a little bit, but it's still like way lighter than I've ever seen it before. And
Would you say red or pink?
It's more red. Okay. It's more red. And before it was like
the maroon, kind of old blood.
Very dark, yeah.
Yeah. And so with that, especially where you're having shorter cycles and it gets lighter, and so not all of the blood and tissue is able to come out when that happens. And so then when you have your next cycle, it's all old blood, and that's why it looks dark. And so once we're able to flush those things out, and a normal healthy cycle wants to be about 5 days. It should be a medium flow the whole time. Anything that's long, short, heavy, light, or weird, that is a hormone imbalance. So as we balance your hormones and flush out all that old stuff that's been hanging out in the uterus, now all of a sudden you see the change in the color because it's fresh current blood, because your uterus isn't hanging on to all of this old. Yeah.
Well, now that you mention that, actually, probably over the last couple months, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I do struggle with ovarian cysts, and sometimes it can get very painful on my period on my left side or after my period, and I'll get just like this pain in that area, and I'm sure it's just like those cysts, and it makes it kind of hard to walk or really do anything. I I probably had that once since we've had our massages, and I used to get it every single period. I don't know if it was necessarily like, sometimes it would be on my period and sometimes it would be when I was probably ovulating. But I've only experienced that probably once since our last massage. Definitely not every period now like I was.
That's amazing. So, I know exactly what kind of cysts you're talking about. They're more balloon-like, and they fill up with your cycle or with inflammation.
Hurts in that area.
And then when you are less inflamed or off your cycle, they go back down. And so as we've gotten your inflammation under control, that's less and less of a problem. And then again with the hormones, so you're not having these huge roller coaster influxes when your cycle comes.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, like, there's not so much of the cysts.
It's just normal how it should be. And there's things like every time we talk about something, I find something new that I'm like, wait, I realize that too. Because I don't think I'm realizing everything that, like, all of the things that have changed and become normal, because I felt like they should have been normal. But now that we start talking about things and I'm like, wait, this has changed too, and this has changed too, and this and this and this, and then it's like, wow, like it all makes sense, you know?
Awesome. So, having gone through the health intake, and it's really extensive, would you say it's not too good to be true? Like, a lot of the things that we talk about in your health intake are happening.
No, they really are happening. 100%. I would say a majority of everything that you mentioned to me has happened. There may have been some experiences that maybe I wasn't having, so that I didn't see that benefit. But, I mean, everything that I've seen so far, I'm so happy I found you. I can't say anything else. Like, you've been the biggest part of my journey. I mean, yes, I've worked out and I've done that part, but I mean, I couldn't have started working out again like I am if it wasn't for you, for feeling this light in my body and feeling like I'm able to move, and I feel young again. Not young, but I feel my age, and I don't feel older, you know? I'm feeling like my body's breaking down.
And we're taught that, like, oh, all of these things are just because you're getting older, just get used to it. That's not true. Every single thing that we associate with, oh, it's just a symptom of getting older, is literally just a symptom of lymphatic stagnant, like, imbalance. And so, of course, we're going to notice that more in old age if we've never done anything for our lymphatic system. But it's all manageable, and in a lot of cases, reversible or minimizable, and, like, it's so easy to get it under control. And then, like you said, the diet and the exercise all starts playing a part. Everything starts working together, and then all of a sudden you start seeing these huge results.
Massive changes, because I don't drop weight like, I can drop weight quickly, but not 5 pounds in a week. I've never seen 5 pounds in a week. And also, too, I think the biggest thing I noticed with the chiropractor is that I would get adjusted, and maybe a few days later I felt the same, right? I might have felt great that day, but a few days later, I would just kind of feel it, not even necessarily in my spine, just like pain going all the way down, and I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel this, like, whatever in my neck and in my back, whatever it was. I don't know if it was the muscles or what it was, but it's gone. All I know is it's gone, and it feels amazing, so.
Yeah, when the fluid and the pressure is built up in the spine or in the vertebrae or in between joints or any of those things, it causes things to not quite sit right. And so it can cause misalignment and then malfunction when that's not happening. And all of a sudden, if you are seeing a chiropractor, now all of a sudden your adjustments can hold way longer, and you get so much more out of it.
No, my results are much more long term. Like with the massages, like it has been much more long term results than I could have expected for sure. So
that's so exciting. And then you did mention that your workouts have shifted. Not only are they easier, your body's feeling lighter, you're able to get into better postures, deeper postures with squats and all of that. But you said that you are squatting a little heavier, so your reps are increasing, your weight is increasing.
Yeah, and that's just actually since our last massage.
This week.
Yeah, the last week.
7 days.
Yeah,
in the last 7 days.
So last Wednesday, so I would say probably before last Wednesday, I did legs at some point before last Wednesday. And I for sure wasn't thrusting or squatting as heavy as I was after our workout. So I think we had our massage on Wednesday, and I did legs on Saturday night. And I was able to squat a whole plate, and I have not been able to. I've been doing like 25s on each side, and I did 45s on each side, and felt like I could have added more weight.
So almost doubled.
Yeah.
That's
almost
huge.
doubled. So that's insane.
Yeah. That is so exciting.
Yes.
Ah.